Hi guys, another update video for you. There's a couple of things I wanted to mention that I left out in the other video. I will be talking about this in a sec, but I just want to touch on a couple of things here. One of them's pretty major that I just have overlooked since I've done it because it's one of those things you just do and forget about in the long run. But before I get to that, I did mention in my last video that the car did have 68,000 Ks when I bought it, so kilometers. And I did say I didn't believe it. I forgot to mention when I got it home and I jacked it up and had a look at everything, there was absolutely no rust in the car and all the bushes and everything were good. I was sort of led to believe that they were genuine Ks. So I've put quite a few Ks on it now. It's got 107, so it's been pretty good. Anyway, one of the things I forgot to mention, and I've never actually brought it up in any of these videos before, is my oil cooler setup. So I have, I think it's a 16 row oil cooler just sitting down in my duct here. If we can, oh, whoops, where are we? So you can see I've got it mounted up in there. These braided lines for that. They're quite long because they run all the way across the bottom of the engine here. You can see the two of them right down there, and then they come up and sit where the factory oil cooler is. Oil filter is down there. So when I initially put that in, it came with just a billet sandwich plate, and it had a couple of fittings that you could put gauges and stuff on, sensors on, sorry. And I always just had an issue with it leaking from the block, so I got rid of that. And when I had that one, that was just a free-flowing sandwich plate. So what would happen is it would be constantly flowing oil at maximum velocity through the oil cooler. And in winter, it would take a really long time for my car to heat up and get to temperature because it was it was cooling it a lot. So I got rid of that and I replaced it with a brand called Mokel, the sandwich plate. You can get a sandwich plate with an oil thermostat in it, and it's got a little bypass valve in it and stuff. So it basically keeps it shut until it keeps up to temperature. It'll always still flow just a little bit through there. So if it ever fails, it's not going to block your oil system. But yeah, when it gets up to the operating temperature that it's supposed to be at, it'll open it up and it'll regulate it so that you have this perfect oil temperature all the time. So your oil is always at this at the right temperature, which really affects the viscosity of the oil. So you get your oil is where it's supposed to be, no matter what the temperature is, right? It can only go so far depending on how hot the day is and the ambient temperature is. But it really worked well. It made a night day difference when I put that in, and even just putting that oil cooler in made a really big difference, especially on hot days. And I can hammer on this on like a 35-degree day, and I'll be fine. So really recommend it if you're in a hot climate. Get an oil cooler. I didn't really want to get the remote oil filter kit, which is nice as it would be because of how often I service this, to just go, oh, yep, here's my oil cooler and take it off, oil filter. It's just more things to go wrong. I want to keep it simple, so I didn't want any extra joins and hoses and stuff where I could potentially get leaks. So I kept it as simple as possible. Yeah, so really good upgrade. If you live in a hot climate, get an oil cooler for your Supra because it's absolutely worth it. Yeah, so I think that's everything on that at the moment. But the Subaru, this is a 1996 EJ18 1.8 litre. I don't think these were available in North America. It's the crossover between a GC6 and GC8. So basically, when I'm looking for parts for this, I just say look up GC8 things and they all fit. Yeah, so I just got some cheap. This is just my daily run around. I keep this as cheap and serviced as well as possible. It's got 221 or pretty much 2022 kilometers on it. But it has never had a major engine issue. No head gasket problems, no nothing. It's just been a good old trusty car, really, as a runaround. It's not the greatest thing on fuel. It does have a couple of little things wrong with it, but nothing major. Just a little O-ring on the bottom of the power steering reservoir leaks just ever so slightly, and the rear windscreen washer jet doesn't work, but because of the hose that goes up into the tailgate, it broke and it's impossible to get to and repair. So yeah, this is a EJ18. It's very easy to service compared to an EJ20. There is enough room between the heads here to get the spark plugs and stuff out quite, within. You can do the spark plugs on this in about 10 or 15 minutes. It's a bit annoying to do, but it is easy compared to an EJ20. It's automatic. I recently just did the diff oils and gearbox oil, filters, just gave it a huge service. It's actually a really nice car to drive. Everything works. So the aircon, really cool. I got that regassed last year or the year before. I haven't really done anything to this except the exhaust. It did have a really rusty old exhaust, so I just got that replaced originally, and then I put that sports muffler on it, and that sounded really, really bad. It sounded cool when you were really light on the throttle and just putting around, but as soon as you got into it, it was just slappy as hell. So I got a resonator put in, and that fixed that right up. It's got a few paint things, but nothing major. It's something I don't have to worry about. But this is a stainless steel muffler here, twin tipped, 3-inch, 2.25-inch inlet. I like it. The only reason I put that on there was because the old one was quite rusted and slappy, so I thought I'd free up the exhaust a bit and get a bit of hopefully a little bit better fuel economy. Yeah, it's got a stereo in it. It did come with this stereo. I just added the amplifier and the subwoofer. I've just added a couple of lights and things like that, just to spruce it up, little red footwell lights down there and red interior light. But yeah, everything works, and I just want to sort of prove a point with this car, to be honest. I want to see how far I can take this engine with just general maintenance. If it ever gets it, just see how far it goes before it needs something major, and then I'll call it a day with it. But I got an idea just last week, actually, where if this engine does end up having a major issue, because I don't give this a hard time, I just part it around. Occasionally I'll take it to Redline just to get the oil through everything, but not really. It's not that fast. It probably only makes 90 horsepower. But it's pretty lightweight. It's, I think, about 1,200 or so kilos. But yeah, when if this engine ever does decide to let go, so say a head gasket or a piston ring goes or something really major internally, if it drops a valve or something like that, that's not easily replaceable and cheap to fix on the outside of the engine. I want to actually pull it all out, pull the drivetrain out and everything, and just convert it to electric, full electric. So just get the maybe just I don't know if I'd go. It'd probably be cheaper just to make it rear wheel drive with electric motors on the rear hubs, and then just fill the front up with the controller, the batteries, wiring, put the other throttle in it. You know, everything that's required. Maybe put like a layer of batteries along the boot floor, and try and get some good range out of it. I'd be happy with 350 kilometers, 300, 350, 400 would be nice, but it would be cool. I mean, if the price isn't too crazy, I might even put electric motors in the front as well, so it's still all-wheel drive. It's currently all-wheel drive now. It actually does pretty well off-road. I have taken this off-road. But yeah, just on dirt roads and not rock climbing or anything, but it's not too bad. But yeah, just give it that electric buzz, and it'll be fast. It'll be great, and it'll be a really nice daily. It's really comfortable to drive, great visibility because this is a 96 and the A-pillars and stuff weren't such a big deal back then. So when you're driving it, that you've got really good visibility around everything, which I like, compared to new cars where their A-pillars and the B-pillars and even the C-pillars are just humongous for rollover, safety stuff. But it as a daily, good car. I mean, these things, they have a bad rap of head gaskets and things going wrong and blah, blah, blah. They're not that bad. They're just like any other car. If you look after it and do the preventative maintenance and you don't flog the piss out of it, it'll just keep going and going. And that's where I'm at now. So, yeah, it's been a good cruiser. I'd like to replace the headlights with some nice. You can get nice GC8 headlights with projectors and stuff to make it a bit more modern, and I'll do that. I've got a light bar I want to put on just on the roof cage here when I drive out west and stuff like that. So I've got some better lighting, and just tint the windows. I mean, I don't really want to lower it. It would look a lot better lowered, just by an inch or so. But because of the kind of car it is, it's good. If I'm going out west and I go off road a bit on a dirt road, it's got enough clearance. I can change the oil filter without jacking it up. I can just get under there. There's enough room and just drop the oil and things like that. But yeah, good car. Yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted. That's about it for this video so far. Oh, it's also got cruise control, vacuum operated cruise control, by the way, which still works flawlessly. Everything works. So quite impressive for its age, and I can't complain, really. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated. I don't think much will be going on with this for a while. I'm thinking about going and volunteer firefighting in New South Wales and Australia to help deal with these crazy bushfires we got on. Shit's on fire, yo. You know the meme. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going and helping out with that. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated, and have a good one. Merry Christmas.